Why does a narcissist never explain themselves? And what I mean by never explain themselves is, say you're having a conversation, or say they said something to a friend of yours, or they said something just randomly and you didn't quite understand what they meant. And you say, well, you said this, and what did you mean by that? And they will really struggle with trying to explain themselves. They never seem to want you to understand anything they say. And they sure don't want you to question anything that they say. They want you to blindly go along with whatever it is they said. Don't ask for clarification. Don't ask for details. Don't ask for them to explain it in a way for you to understand. That's not what they're interested in. They have three main things that they're interested in, and you understanding them is not one of them. You having clarification, you knowing where you stand with them, you being comfortable is not their MO. It is not their greatest concern. They also like to do a lot of things for you that the person before you really, really wanted them to do for them. And, the reason they do that is because they know at some point that it'll get back to their previous partner. That, God, they're doing all these nice things for this other person. Why wouldn't they do those nice things for me? I begged them for years to do that stuff with me, and now they're doing it for them. Am I really not good enough after all the years I gave them? I'm really not good enough for them to do those things for me. They're out here doing them for that person, the next person. Well, little do you know, maybe that next person doesn't really want them to do those things. And maybe the new person feels good because they know. The narcissist actually told them that, oh yeah, my ex wanted me to do this and I never would do it, or they make it sound like, yeah, I've never done this. I've never bought flowers. I've never bought a ring. I've never went out dancing. I've never, I didn't do all these things, when my ex asked me to do these things, I never did any of these things. But here I am doing them for you. That must mean I must love you. And we're so ignorant and so just grateful that someone loves us the way we think they do, that we accept that and we say, God, I must really be special if they're going to go out of their way to do all these things. And it's not until the relationship with that person is over that you realize all those nice things they did for you, they did them to hurt the previous person. They weren't truly doing all those things for you. I mean, yeah, I won't say that narcissists don't have any kind of kindness in their bodies or empathy or compassion. I won't say that. They wouldn't be able, I think some of them do wish they could be better than they actually are, and they do try. But the majority of the things that they do for people is for their own benefit. And, they like that people like them for the things that they do for them. But they don't truly want to do a lot of it, And normal people sometimes have to do things for people. They don't really want to do it, but they do it because they love that person, or they do it because, it's a family member and they've been there a lot for them, or they're just a kind-hearted person. That's all possible. That's all there. But generally speaking, a narcissist is going to do things for you that their ex wanted from them, and they didn't give two shits to do it for them. But they'll do it for you because they know it'll get back to the previous person and hurt them. Especially if that person spent many, many years wanting those things from that person and they didn't care enough to do it for them. And every relationship they have, they will become whatever they think that person wants them to become. Again, that's also a normal thing. Sometimes you change your desires and your hobbies and things like that based on who you're with, because you want to spend time with that person. So you make the effort to do things. But this isn't a pattern. This isn't something that you do this all the time with the people that you're with. You know what I mean? It's you're doing it because you want to fit in and make your person feel included. They're doing it for a much more demonic reason. They're doing it because it's going to get back to the ex, and the ex is going to be upset. And on top of that, the things they're doing for you make you think that they care about you, make you think that you're oh so loved and special. And it will make you feel like, oh, they're not choosing you anymore. They're choosing me now. I'm the special one. Well, eventually you won't be the special one anymore, unfortunately. And that place really sucks. Especially if you seen what happened to the previous person, how mutual friends didn't want to believe anything that they said, and they looked like the bitchy, crazy person and ungrateful. Lots of negative things that previous person was made to look like in front of you to make them feel this small. And then once you've seen that, that also scares you into not challenging the narcissist too hard, because you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be the sad ex or the sad ex-wife. My narcissistic ex actually said that to me, that his ex-wife or soon-to-be ex-wife was saying to him, I don't want to be the sad ex-wife. And in him, instead of him showing any empathy towards that, he said, well, what about me? I'm the sad ex-husband. It was always about him. And you don't ever realize these things until you're out of the relationship. So much stuff, because you're gaslit and you're confused and you're manipulated this whole time when you're with them. There's so many things that are like right in your face. And you still, like, I had all kinds of insider information about this person that I decided to be with. And I pursued. I wanted to be with them. When I was in an affair with them, they made me feel so loved and so cared about. And I had this feeling that once he got divorced, we would be together. I had that implanted in my head, and I kind of assumed it as well. I put myself in that position to think that way as well. And then, once we're actually in a relationship with each other, it's kind of like, oh my God, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. They make you feel like they're going to be this amazing thing, and you're scrambling the whole time trying to make sure that things are okay, and no matter what you do, you just can't. And here they are showing the world that they're doing all these things for you, and when you have problems, they go and tell your family, I love her so much, or I love him so much, and he's just doing all these things, and I'm the good guy, and I don't know what's wrong with them. Instead of talking to you, instead of coming to you about your guys' relationship and actually having a conversation with you, they have conversation with everybody else, because that's what's important. The image on the outside is what's important. They can have control by talking on the outside. Instead of talking to you and letting you have some say in what goes on in this relationship, they maintain it, and they let everybody else know what they want them to know. And then when you try to seek support, you'll have no one, because they've already implanted everything that they want that those people to see is already implanted. They're already 10 steps ahead of you. So yeah. Go check out YouTube videos. Go check out other YouTube videos. Go check out, there's so many other people that are out there that tell you about their story. And it's literally like they plucked your story and what you went through, plucked you out of it, and put themselves into it. These are things that narcissists all do. Some are a little different. Some are a little worse. Some are more violent. Some are more treacherous. Some are more hidden and covert and fragile. And some of them flex back and forth. You just never know, depending on what goes on. You just never know. But go take a look at them. Go take a look at some of the other videos and things and do some research. You know, this is a real thing. You'll be confused. You'll be manipulated. You'll be gaslit. You will be undermined. You will be doubted when the outside world, when you finally have to tell the outside world what's going on. You'll be coerced into saying nothing. You'll lose your voice. You'll lose who you are. You'll come out of it and you're like, I don't even know who I am anymore. There's all these things happen to all of survivors of this. This isn't just some crap that this person sitting in her car in her work uniform out in the, you know, in a fall day is just making up. This is something that happens to a lot of people. It's not something that these survivors and us survivors are making up because, oh, we want attention, and oh, we're crazy, and oh, you know, whatever it is the narcissist wants to say about the people that they've abused. It's not me, it's them. It's always them. So somebody needs to stop telling survivors they need to just hurry up and get over it and quit. They don't want to hear about it anymore because this is real shit. We can go to New Zealand right now. We can go to Africa. We can go to Alaska. We could go to Japan. There's somebody who has dealt with something exactly like that. There's many people who have dealt with somebody that's went through this. Survivors are not making this shit up. Nobody's perfect. No girlfriend or boyfriend is perfect. Everybody has done shit things to each other. That's one thing. But when you spend years mentally manipulating somebody and making someone doubt themselves and doubt reality and think that they're a bad person, that's a whole nother game. That's a whole nother thing. When you literally try to psychologically and physically, mentally, emotionally, sexually, whatever it is, try to beat someone down so you can feel better about yourself, that's a problem. And stop blaming the victim. Yes, the victim's got some blame. Yes, they do. But this isn't a thing that is going on, and this is what people are doing to other people. And everybody needs to let the people who went through it speak.